and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. And welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then. Don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run. So you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live around the world on Facebook, on twitch.tv, on Mixer and on YouTube. While we're getting everything set up, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Runs and Rides YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/FilmMyRun, on Twitter @FilmMyRun, and you can also go to the website, which is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, and watch me do all the hard work.
Toast. Right on.
I'm not very well, and I'm doing this because I know I have to. Hi there, Vida. Let's get my heart rate up. So I've forgotten to put that on. Okay, we're doing two things today. We are continuing training for Gran Canaria. Vida likes the theme music. Training for Gran Canaria, so I am doing an elevation session this morning, 500 meters climbing in 4 kilometers, and then also we're going to complete the Park to Peak route, which is a run-only route. Park to Peak, well, yeah, the route is run-only. We will be going on roads that cyclists go on as well. Anyway, so Park to Peak, complete the route badge for that. So let's get going. We're on 0 kilometers, 0 time, 74 beats per minute heart rate. I am going to immediately raise the elevation to 12%. And then I will start the treadmill. I'm going to start by walking. I'm not going to put any camera angles on because that will be a nightmare in terms of completing the route. Because as any of you who regularly watch this stream... Oh, there we go. Anyone who regularly watches this stream will know that I have a little program that alters the camera angles for me. Every time it changes the camera angle, if those indications are on the bottom there where you can change direction, my camera angle program automatically changes my direction as well, which is not a good thing. So no camera angles. Complete the park route. Simon Funnel, thanks for the ride on.
Ride on.
And then go very slowly, or I'm going to walk. Maybe even the first 300 meters I'm going to walk. I'm not very well. We have a very busy weekend at the National Running Show in Birmingham, and I've come home. Immune system is low. Caught a cold. So I've got terrible blocked nose, sore throat, also got backache as well, and I'm still not entirely sure that my ankle is healed up. Andrew, it was good to meet you on Sunday. Thanks for coming along. Lovely to see you. Carl Watts, thanks for the ride on, buddy.
Ride on.
And Ollie Mellamser, thank you for your ride on.
Ride on.
So we're going to walk out at least 300 metres, maybe even half a kilometre. Oh, let's put a target on as well. I like a target. Now, the Park to Peak route. Park to Peak is 4.6 kilometres, so not long. I'll probably end up doing around 5 kilometres of running stroke walking. Just need to get the elevation in today, then I can go to bed and try and recover, feel well again at some point, but jobs to do. I have finally got my run module as well, so I've now got a Run Smart treadmill sensor which I will attach in the coming days and start doing some testing on that. I know loads of you have already done loads of testing on it. So we've already got a decent idea of what it's like. Carl, yeah, I loved the running show. It was absolutely massive fun. But my throat, honestly, because I was talking basically all day for both days. And yeah, I nearly completely lost my voice. And now I've ended up with a sore throat. But yeah, it was great fun. Lovely to meet all of you guys and girls who came down. And obviously met loads of new people. Introduced a ton of people to Zwift. I mean, if you've seen some of the photographs, the screen that we had was huge, and that attracted a big crowd. Especially when Victoria and I, or Adam Holland and me, ran the interval sessions. We introduced people to structured workouts on Zwift, and it was amazing to see how many people were interested in looking at what was going on. Andrew says his wife and him have just signed up for their first ultra in March. Good stuff. What ultra are you doing, Andrew? You may have told me this before, but I can't remember, I'm sorry. Right, nearly up to 300 metres. So I'm going to start jogging very, very slowly now. it may be that we don't even get the whole run is 5 kilometers or so, and it may be that I don't even get my avatar running until the last kilometer today. It's going to go really, really slowly. Just got to warm up and got to feel a little more healthy. But I'm not going to stop until I've finished Park to Peak. Laura Eppelbaum, thank you for your ride on.
Ride on!
Ryan Perrin, good morning to you. Could you not make your way up to Birmingham at the weekend then, Ryan? I know, lazy. We are going slow this morning for almost the whole run. Only maybe the last kilometre will I get the avatar to run. I'm not a wild bunny at the moment. But we are at 12% elevation, on my tiptoes or on the balls of my feet, and we are doing some climbing, which is what we need to do. What, you resting or me? I'm definitely resting. Honestly, it was a struggle to decide whether to actually do this run or not. So I thought, well, I'll just do it really slowly. I don't know that one, Andrew. Run to the Sea. So Andrew and his wife are doing their first ultra. It's called Run to the Sea, Ringwood to Hengistbury Head. Okay, I'll look that up if I remember afterwards. Oh, and Ryan, okay, so this weekend, so having just had a busy weekend, and now I'm ill, I am supposed to be down in Cornwall. Well, I will be down in Cornwall this coming weekend for the big Arc of Attrition 100-mile race. And Ryan is saying they've got some snow on the hills down there. Ryan is from down there, so he knows. So Park to Peak is the route that we're doing. Not putting any camera angles on, and we're just going to follow the route as it goes. Well, John Crawford says, why not take a rest day and recover? Well, I took a rest day yesterday, John. And I did seriously think about taking one today, but I've only got a cold, sore throat, blocked nose, that kind of thing. I've taken some tablets. My nose, I can breathe through my nose now that I've taken those tablets. My sore throat is not so sore now that I've taken paracetamol. So let's just get it. It's not going to be that long. It's less than an hour. Less than an hour of running. Get it done, get it out of the way. And at least my legs have done some work. Carl Watts lives in Snowdonia, and he says they've had some snow there on the mountains. So, sounds like high ground. I don't know about the Lake District, but in Snowdonia, and down on the high ground in Cornwall, which, to be honest, the high ground in Cornwall isn't actually that high. But there is some snow around. Last year, when we went down to Cornwall for the Arc of Attrition, quite a few people didn't make it because There were snow drifts on the top of Bodmin Moor. Cars were queued back, broken down, sliding all over the place. And a lot of people didn't actually make it to the start of the race. So let's hope that doesn't happen this year. Let's hope the terrible weather only happens during the race itself. Vetterman, thank you for your ride on.
Ride on!
Ryan, we're coming down on Thursday. So we'll see what it's like, and we might take that bottom road rather than going over the top of Bodmin Moor. We'll take the road at the bottom, going nearer the coast. Andrew, thanks for the ride on.
Ride on!
Right, so my avatar is still walking. 800 metres done. Elevation is on 12%. On the balls of my toes, climbing the hills. Andrew, I think it's Andrew Simpson from Australia. Thank you very much for your ride on.
Ride on!
Joanna Beckett there, riding. She's gone past me. The A30, that's it. Yeah, that's the road. Yeah, we'll try maybe avoid that one. Right, heart rate is slowly creeping up, so we're at 130 BPM. No reason to believe that's incorrect. Seems all right to me. It's a bit strange, having spent the weekend running on Woodway treadmills, lovely Woodway treadmills, with an enormous, I mean it was, when I say enormous, it was like 3 metres by 3 metres, this screen. Have a look, there's some pictures posted on the Zwift Runners page, and you'll see how big the screen was. Victor, Klingvis, thank you for your ride on.
Ride on!
Victor, right, I'm not copying the elevation of Zwift, I'm doing my own elevation, so I've got the treadmill on its highest setting, which is 12%. I'm just doing a hill session, so I'm going to climb 500 metres in 4 kilometres, just over 4 kilometres. So there's 1 kilometre done now, look. So I will increase the pace to 5.5 kilometres per hour, but as I said earlier to the guys, we are not going to get my avatar running until maybe the last kilometre. So Vidar beats us all. He's in Tromsø in Norway, and Tromsø has 1 metre of snow so far. We can't match that in the UK. So I've slightly sped up. I was at 5 kilometres per hour. I'm now at 5.5. We've done 1 kilometre, so I've climbed 120 metres, and we're just carrying on. But at the same time, we're going to try and do the Park to Peak route to get the Park to Peak badge. Cheers, Victor. It's not too bad. That's why I'm going so slowly, you see. I can do it at 12%, just have to go really slowly. On the balls of my feet, on my tiptoes, just climbing up, just training for Trans Gran Canaria. in March, which is 128 kilometres and 7,500 metres of climb. So I do need to get elevation in. Brian, why don't you just buy yourself a 40-inch HD TV and then hook your MacBook or whatever it is that you use, hook that up to your TV screen. Heart rate now up to 150 in zone 3. E. Cowans in the USA, thank you for your ride on.
Ride on!
Slowly does it. Exactly, Victor. Yeah, just gotta get those calf muscles nice and ripped so that they're ready. The only thing is, I need to get outdoors and do some downhill as well to make sure my quads are in shape for all the downhill running. Yes, so Vidar says, if you're using a Mac to run Zwift, do you need a USB dongle? Well, yes, if you're using Ant Plus. If you're using Bluetooth, then no. So Bluetooth will connect direct to your MacBook, but if you are using an iOS, an Ant Plus device, like my watch, for example, my watch is transmitting my heart rate in Ant Plus. Gary Corcoran, thank you very much for your ride on.
Ride on!
So I need to make sure that I have an Ant Plus USB stick in my computer to read that, and it's the same for the Mac, but iOS is fine, Bluetooth is fine. Andrew Cutmore is saying, is my ankle better than it was? So I did quite a lot of running at the weekend, and when I finished at the weekend, it was a little bit sore, it was aching a bit. But today it seems okay. Christophe Verdou, thank you.
Ride on!
I can still feel it. It's not painful though. And B Holiday, is it Billy Holiday? B Holiday, thank you for your ride on.
Ride on!
Coming up to 1.5 kilometres, M Dazzler as well.
Ride on!
Thank you very much. Lots of ride-ons dropping. Very kind of you guys. Adam Holland. Hey buddy. So Adam joined me at the weekend, and we did a couple of runs together on the treadmill demonstrating Zwift at the National Running Show. So in the morning I ran with my wife, and then in the afternoon, both days, I ran with Adam. I say I ran with Adam. Adam was going a lot faster than me. That was good fun. I had to go slow because I had to do all the talking. But to be fair, even if I had been going my normal pace, Adam would have been way ahead of me. I don't know if I've mentioned this, guys, I'm not very well. Adam, have you got any photos of you and I on the treadmill? I've only got photos, I think, of me and Victoria running. I don't seem to have any photos of you and me running. If you can ping them over to me, if you have got any, that'd be good. If anyone asks Adam, I can say that I did run with you all the way because we ran nearly 7 kilometres and I was right next to you all the way, wasn't I? In real life, you and me, right next to each other. So for kilometre number 3, I'll up the speed to 6 kilometres per hour. Still won't get the avatar running. And then for kilometre 4, I'll up the speed to 6.5 kilometres an hour. That still won't get the avatar running. So for the final kilometre, kilometre 5, I will up the speed to 7 kilometres per hour. And we'll finally do some running. But only in the last kilometre. Victor, yes, that is indeed Mr. Adam Tango Holland. Oh, thanks, Adam, thanks. Kyle is worried about the coronavirus spreading. We know the cold, the common cold is a coronavirus. It was very interesting, actually, at the running show and also when I was walking through Birmingham yesterday. All the Oriental-looking people, not all, but many of the Oriental people were wearing masks over their faces. And I know it's it's almost a bit of a fashion thing, isn't it? But of course none of the UK people were. None of the Western-looking people were wearing masks. But it's ironic because I bet half of those Oriental people have never even been to China. I think it's very unlikely. Owen Casey, thank you very much for your ride on.
Right on!
I think it's very unlikely that I have the Wuhan virus. Stuffed full of painkillers anyway. Should be alright for this run. Only half an hour or so to go. No camera angles so that I can make sure I do actually complete Park to Peak without going off route. And 100 metres to go before we up the pace again. I'm almost complaining at my wife, Kyle, for going to the doctor for pointless reasons. I think if I went to the doctor with a cold, she would have something to say about it. Also, it may just be that I'm a bit run down. Adam, thanks.
Right on!
So there's our 2 kilometre marker. Coming up to 2 kilometres, increase the speed to 6 kilometres per hour, slightly faster. Andrew Cutmore is asking, how do you mentally prepare yourself for an ultra? Good question. Not sure I've got a good answer for you, to be honest. One way that you can mentally prepare is by being physically ready. So if you're confident that you've done the miles, that you've got the strength, that you've got the fitness, you've done the elevation training, that you need to do, then that gives you mental confidence. But there's also nothing more important than experience for giving you mental confidence. If you know that you've done that kind of thing before, then you know you can do it again. So mental confidence comes from experience, knowledge that you have achieved these things before, and from being physically ready for the challenge. And deep down, you always know whether you are or are not physically ready. That said, I've been into plenty of races where I've not been physically ready, and I've managed to grind it out, and that's your mental toughness, your mental strength to say, I'm going to do this. At the same time, I've gone into a few races not prepared, and I've been bitten on the butt. Ryan has it absolutely right. Lots of training that is tough mentally. So if you go and do the mentally tough training, then you have a bedrock of toughness when it comes to the race. So if you go outside, at 10 o'clock at night and you do a 4 or 5 hour night training session, hard to get out the door, hard to make yourself go and do it. If you can do it, that mental toughness is growing and building inside you. Ryan knows he's not ready for this weekend, but he's going to wing it, and I'm going to kick his butt all the way around. Victor, yes, I do wear socks, and if you get the right socks, they don't rub. So you need to experiment with different pairs of socks, but there are plenty of companies that produce socks that don't rub, or at least that manage pretty well throughout an ultra race. I use Injinjis, but there are plenty of other brands which people swear by. And if you are prone to getting hot spots, blisters, areas that rub, with experience, you get to know where you generally rub and how to deal with it. So whether it's a plaster or Vaseline, whatever it might be, to stop, or at least to prevent for as long as possible, that blister or that hot spot occurring. Badland, thank you for your ride on. Badland from Germany.
Right on!
And there's the 2.5k marker bouncing up ahead. Heart rate 145 now, still in zone 3. There you go, Ryan says lather your feet in moisturiser works a treat. Have to be waterproof moisturiser on the Arc though. So 2.5k done, we're halfway through the run. Gonna do 5k. My little countdown timer says 24 minutes, 30 seconds left to go. But we are gonna speed up a bit, so it's slightly less than that. And still running at 12% elevation. So ignore the elevation of Zwift. There's no downs and ups, it's just a solid 12% climb. So every kilometre, I'm climbing 120 metres. Also Victor shoes, of course. Make sure that the shoes you're wearing, the trail shoes that you've got, are the best ones that you can get for yourself. You've got to practice different shoes. Eventually you'll find a brand that kind of suits you. So I've been through quite a few different brands of shoe. I started with Salomon fell razors, and then Salomon Speed, what are they called? Anyway, another pair of Salomons. Then I've tried Ultras, and then I had some can't remember that other brand. What are they called? I had another brand of shoe which were quite good, but my wife then bought me some Hokas for my birthday one year, and I've kind of used Hokas ever since, really. I must admit, I do like the cushioning on them. And the Speed Goats that I've got, very good at draining water, so when you're running in the UK, you are very likely to get wet feet. Certainly in some of the races I do. So you're not going to avoid getting wet feet. So a lot of the races I do, it pays well to have shoes that drain very well. Socks made of merino wool. So all your top brands of ultra running sock will be made of merino wool, and they drain well, keep your feet warm, and don't rub. Andrew Cutmore says he did MRC Group C yesterday. Everyone ran together, and Andrew ran with Carol Rushworth, who I met on Sunday at the National Running Show for the first time, along with Jonathan Cost. It was great fun. And Paul Deering as well. Hello to you guys. So, and who else did I meet? Andrew, Paul Deering, Jonathan Cost, Carol, Leo Loughran. Loads of people who I've never actually met before in real life. I only know from Zwift. So it was great meeting you guys. Ewing, thanks for the ride on.
Ride on!
So following the route of Park to Peak. Benz, thank you for your ride on.
Ride on!
And you can see we are there on 12% elevation and at 6 kilometers per hour. Heart rate is 145. Been in zone 3 now for 21 minutes. Hopefully I won't touch zone 4. Should be a zone 3 run, I think. Might just touch zone 4 in the last kilometre when we speed up. Coming up to the next speed gain. So from 3 to 4 kilometres, we'll be going at 6.5 kilometres per hour. Verlinden, thank you very much, Ward. Thank you very much, Ward.
Right on!
It's so easy to get set up for Zwift running. All you need are a few things. Firstly, access to a treadmill. Either at home or at the gym, it doesn't matter what kind of treadmill you use, any treadmill will work with Zwift. Next, you need a foot pod, preferably a Bluetooth foot pod, and the most popular ones to use at the moment are the Zwift Pod or the Stride. Then simply download the Zwift app onto any of these devices. So a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android phone, Zwift even works on Apple TV. Pair your footpod in the app, possibly add a heart rate monitor if you like, and that's it. You're all set up for Zwift running. So we're into kilometre number 4, and we're now running at 6.5 kilometres per hour. My avatar is still walking. He won't run until we get to 6.8. So we'll do the last kilometre, 4 to 5, at 7 kilometres per hour, and that should bring the heart rate up and should start the avatar running. Rob Harrison says last run for me tomorrow for up to 6 weeks, having cryosurgery on his foot on Thursday. Rob, we're going to miss you too, buddy. But if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. Get well soon. I am starting to feel this session a little bit now. "16 minutes left of running, 1.75 kilometres left." Ian Matthews, thank you for your ride on.
Right on.
Haven't run up here for ages. Com arch reverse is the direction we're going now. Yeah, just got to take it slowly, Ryan. You're just building up your leg muscles. It's not a cardio workout. Leave the cardio workouts for your threshold runs, your interval training, and park run. So glass tunnel across Central Park. You won't get this in the real New York. "150 BPM. I can't remember what BPM I go to zone 4, but it can't be far away from here. Might get there towards the last kilometre. Oh, Ryan. Looking forward to seeing you, buddy, hopefully on Friday, Saturday. Is your dad crewing you again? Right, 3.5k done. 1.5 to go. We'll stay at this pace for the next 500 metres, and then we shall up the speed to finally get the avatar running. 7 kilometres an hour for the final kilometre, and somewhere in the middle of that, I should get the badge for the park to peak route. Ryan, you did all your routes, didn't you now? I think, or was it Ryan Downey? One of the Ryans posted yesterday or today that they've finally completed all the routes, all the running routes, badges. Steve Beckett from Zwift HQ. Thank you.
Right on.
So some cyclists going very slowly, having a good old look at me. Takes me back to the old days when Zwift running was brand new. Cyclists used to deliberately slow down because they'd never seen a runner before. So they'd slow down to have a look. Oh, awesome, buddy. Well, I'll see you there. Looking forward to it. Yeah, I think it must have been Ryan Downey that says he's done all the routes. Right, about 12 minutes of running left. I don't know, Carl. You've got to select the route, keep running until the badge comes up. You can't stop and assume you've done it. You just have to keep going until it tells you that you've got the badge. The other day, and it was probably my fault, but I did one of the routes here in New York, and I ran an extra 2.5 kilometers before I got the route badge. Andrew, that was Jason Kaplan. Interesting story about Jason. He was the CEO of Milestone. So he was the CEO of Milestone, and then eventually Zwift bought the company. So now Jason is a staff member at Zwift and looks after people like me, and is a good guy. Yes, I did miss a turn, you're right. Morning, Jonathan. Hope you're all okay. I'll tell you, because I'm telling everybody else, I'm not very well. I've got a sore throat, blocked nose, backache. So I think all that talking and busyness at the weekend made my immune system a bit low. And I woke up on Monday morning feeling terrible. I've stuffed myself full. I had a rest yesterday, stuffed myself full of painkillers, and we're getting this done today. Just over 1 kilometre left. 10 minutes of running. Heart rate is still just about in zone 3. I imagine it might creep up to zone 4 in this last kilometre. Yeah, like my wife, but it doesn't stop me telling my wife I'm ill all the time as well. Ryan's just saying, am I aware that none of them care? I get no sympathy from you, like I know. Right, you can see I'm sweating. You can see, even though my heart rate is relatively low, I'm working my legs. I feel like I'm working hard. We've done 4 kilometres, 1 to go, and finally, the avatar starts running. Last kilometre, 8 minutes. Let's do it. And Rob Harrison, thank you.
Right on.
Marchoni, thank you very much, from Canada.
Right on.
Marconi. Oh, thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, I think it was well received. I wouldn't want to do one of those every week, though. Jay Cruz, thanks for your ride on.
Right on. Nice.
Torsten Nels, thank you very much, buddy.
Right on.
Right, there we are. We are now definitely in zone 4. So 1:58 is zone 4. Thierry Macklin, thank you.
Right on.
So we're teetering on the edge of zone 4. Port, thank you.
Right on.
Get in there now. Just over 800 metres left. Into zone 4 again, 160 BPM. So that should now be 500 kilometres of climb done. But let's carry on, do a little bit more and get to 5k. Ryan, New Balance were very kind to give all the staff at the Zwift stand a new pair of shoes at the weekend. So these are my brand new New Balance 1080s. Well, they're version 12 now. The latest ones anyway. So very lucky. Should be over 500. Oh, did I say kilometres? I meant meters, I'm sorry. 700 metres left in distance. 500 metres of climbing done. Should be about 580 metres of climbing by the time we're finished. And any minute now, hopefully, well, in about, 300 metres, I'm hoping I'll get the park to peak badge. But we'll see. Yeah, well, it's not me that's sponsored, it's Zwift that was sponsored. So all the New Balance runs that I do, they're sponsored by Zwift. And New Balance were giving away run pods as well on their stand at the National Running Show, as long as you bought a pair of shoes. So yeah, it's a Zwift partner. I think that's how they like to call them, partners. Okay, starting to hurt now. Heart rate 162. Working. Last 500 metres of the run. 4 minutes to go. Nice to finally have the avatar running though. Right, officially, Park to Peak is 4.6 kilometres. So, I don't know whether we'll get it or not. Any minute now, I'm hoping we will. Francie, thank you very much.
Right on.
Yes, absolutely, Ryan. Definitely one of the ways to go is getting partnerships on board. And New Balance is a pretty good one, what with the London Marathon tie-in as well. There we go. Route complete. Park to Peak done. So that's where you stop it, Kyle. Not before that. Heart rate 160. Hard work, 3 minutes to go. Matt Dawson, thank you very much, buddy.
Right on.
It's depressing when there's a negative 16% descent. And I'm doing a 12% ascent. There's the marker, look. Right in the distance is a purple marker. That's my finish line. ...200 or so metres to go. ...12% elevation all the way, 5 kilometres worth. Matthias Topping, thank you.
Right on.
If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the Zwift Live YouTube channel. Jonathan Cost, please. Cheers, buddy.
Right on. Nice.
And A. Shepherd.
Right on.
And there he is, Jason Kaplan from Zwift HQ. Hope you're well, buddy.
Right on.
1 minute. Oh, I'm going to enjoy my shower and go and lie down. I told you I'm not very well. Meters, 40 meters. Oh, I'm pleased to get this done. I really wasn't going to do it. It took me a lot to get out into the shed quarters today. But we've done it, that's it. 5k done. 5k done and around about 580 metres of climbing. Ryan's just letting me know. Zwift Live. The Zwift Live channel has 742 subscribers now. So we need to get to 1,000 subscribers in order to start earning money from that channel. Jonathan Cost is wishing Ryan herring good luck at the Arc of Attrition. F. Ali, thank you.
Right on.
Another one there, A. Moore, Adam Moore, is it?
Right on.
Yeah. Although she's at work, but I suppose I can text her, can't I? Cheers, Vida. Let's slow it down. But now that we're here, actually, let's just walk it out to get the extra points at 5.25 kilometres. We just walk. It's a game. It's a game. You've got to play the game. So I want to get as far... When they introduce new levels on Zwift, I want to be as far up there as I can be. I mean, I'm not going to beat a lot of people. There was a time when I used to be introduced at Zwift events as the guy who'd run the most on Zwift and therefore knew the most about it. Well, that's by no means the case anymore. I mean, there are people... I'm on probably about 3,000 kilometres now on Zwift. But there are guys with twice that and more, 7,000 and more kilometres, 7,500 kilometres for Marcus Holmes on Zwift. So, and you know me, you know I do a lot of runs on Zwift, but a lot of runs outside as well. So I couldn't fit that amount of mileage indoors. Anyway, there we are. 5.25, 10 XP points is going to bounce up now. Come on. There we are. Let's stop the treadmill. I'm going to go and have a shower. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Appreciate it. And at this time in the morning as well, really appreciate all the banter and the encouragement. Really good. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers. And if I haven't said it already, I'm sure I have, but, you know, thanks very much for joining me at the weekend as well. If you came to the National Running Show, Jonathan, Paul Deering, Carol, Leo Loughran, and Adam, who helped me out, and my wife, who ran with me. And I'm sure I met loads more people from Zwift as well. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Really good. Really enjoyed that. Now, am I going to do anything tonight? I may not be on tonight. Morewood, thank you very much for your ride on, buddy. Cheers.
Ride on.
I don't think I'll be on tonight unless I get a sudden urge. But we'll be back tomorrow. I may do another hill session, and then we've got Wednesday workout tomorrow night. So the week is cracking on. But then after that, I won't be on Zwift for about 3 or 4 days because, or I won't be streaming because I'll be down in Cornwall for the Arc of Attrition. So maybe I'll run Thursday morning, early on Thursday morning, and then I'm getting in the car, travelling all the way down to Cornwall. So, and I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There we are. Okay, guys, take care. See you later on today or tomorrow. Bye-bye.